Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 133. Welcome again to the latest Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services. In this bulletin, a new equity crowdfunding record, the problems sole traders have with getting payments, and the impact that crowdfunding is having on the UK economy. Well, let's start this week's bulletin by taking a look at a new equity crowdfunding record. Now, Crowdcube itself, an equity crowdfunding platform, very successful, has itself now raised money on its own platform. They've successfully raised over £8 million on its own platform, with 3,700 individuals taking a stake in that raise. Now, Crowdcube, as I say, if you're a great source of finance, if you're looking to sell equity in your business, you go on to Crowdcube and all individuals come on and take a very small stake in your business. Well, it's great to see Crowdcube using its own platform and being so successful and breaking the previous record set by Crowdcube itself back in June 2016 when it raised £4 million for a payment card provider aiming at the children's market called GoHenry. Now, Crowdcube itself, very successful, raised over £186 million for 440 businesses since its launch, and they've got nearly 300,000 registered private investors. So if you want to look at selling equity as a way of raising finance for your growth plans, just go along to crowdcube.com, and there you'll find out all the information on how you can tap into that equity base. And well done to the Crowdcube team, a marvellous result. And one problem many small businesses have, particularly one-man bands, is getting payments from consumers or clients, particularly if, for example, you're a window cleaner, an odd job man, a physio, where lots of things are done in cash. The problem is, of course, once you've done the job, the client says, I don't know where my checkbook is, or I haven't had time to go to the ATM. Tell you what, come back tomorrow, come back next week, and I'll pay you then. And of course, what happens? You can't find them in, they avoid you, and you end up just walking away from the money owed to you. And that's a finding from mobile payment provider Paym. They've done a survey among sole traders, and they found out that 30% of those sole traders said they've had to write off debts because they've not been able to get the money from the client. And that equates to roughly about nearly 990,000 small businesses who are affected by this sort of outcome. And in fact, the bigger problem as well is that 32% of those businesses said because they're dealing in cash, they sometimes find themselves rounding their bill down to the nearest pound, and therefore losing even more money when they get paid. So it is a big problem for small businesses and small sole traders. Now, how can you solve this problem? Well, one way, of course, is using the great service provided by Paym. It's a mobile phone payment, so as long as both of you are registered via Paym, you're very quickly going to be able to transfer money via your mobile phone straight into your bank account, therefore avoiding all of this come back tomorrow and you having to write off debts. If you want to know more about Paym, just go along to their website, paym.co.uk, and there you'll find a lot of information on how it works and, more importantly, how you can sign up. As you will know if you've been watching these business finance bulletins regularly, one form of finance which is rapidly growing in interest is crowdfunding or peer-to-peer lending. But what's the impact on the UK economy overall? Well, that's a question being asked by the Centre for Business Economics and Research in conjunction with Funding Circle. They went out to ask that question: how is the UK economy growing as a result of this new form of finance? A Funding Circle agreed to open its loan book to the centre during this research period, and some interesting things have come out. So, for example, one thing is the speed with which decisions are being made and funds released. 72% of those businesses surveyed said that it was quicker than going down the traditional route. What about the impact on the business? Well, 61% of them said they've seen an increase in their business turnover. Well, obviously they've used that money in order to accelerate the growth, launch new products and get new markets. And also 47% of them said they've seen an increase in profits. So you can see a big impact on the individual businesses. But what about the economy globally? Well, the centre reckon that particularly through Funding Circle loans, the economy has benefited to the tune of 2.7 billion. They've also supported 40,000 jobs, and because they also help finance the building of new homes, they estimate that they have supported 2,200 new homes. So you can see crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending is having a major economic benefit for the UK. Well, if you want to know how crowdfunding can help you, of course, drop us a line, info@businessloanservices.co.uk, and we'll be able to help you get to the right place in order to raise the money to help you grow your business. Well, that's it for this bulletin. Thanks very much as ever for being with me. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget just to give it a share and a like amongst your colleagues. If you are watching on the video version, don't forget we've got the podcast version available on iTunes, SoundCloud and Stitcher. And if you are listening on the podcast version, just pop along to my YouTube channel, just search for Rob Warlow, and there you'll find this episode and all past episodes and other bulletins as well. So that's it. Thanks very much for being with me. Look forward to being with you next time. Thanks very much. Bye-bye now.